So Jackson here on the mic. Hi.
This is Peter, and today is December something.
This is episode
Episode
two?
three.
Three.
Two?
two.
Yeah,
We
officially.
have a lost episode.
Yeah, two.
I'll get around to posting that lost episode.
December 17th.
We have to look that up.
Yes. My phone's right here. So, a few topics today. Nothing about gaming, unfortunately. We'll talk about some...
It's whatever we want to talk about.
right. But it's... Jackson wants to be talking about some social issues happening in China, which seems to be an interesting topic.
I just learned about it today, so it's just fresh on my mind.
He's an expert at this subject.
Hence the name of the show. How you pronounce it again?
Kibitzer.
Kibitzer? There's no A in it.
Why does it matter? Kibitzer.
I am still gonna make fun of this as much as I can.
But yeah, well, you can find a better word, so screw you too.
So, anyways, the topic that I'm going on about, or at least I learned about, is the social credit system that China is implementing. That they have going as a test right now, but they're making it mandatory in 2020, so that every Chinese citizen has to be in. And what it means is that your social rating governs your credit score.
So
Well,
how does that work?
So, from my brief readings on it, it's like how
We're
you
looking this up.
interact on social media, what you buy on the internet, and any sorts of things that you do gets accounted for and is given a score, like a numerical value. And depending on what that number is, gets you more or less benefits as a Chinese citizen. So, for example, if you have a high score, it makes it easier for you to get loans or passports, paperwork, things that makes life a little easier, I suppose. Again, I don't know very much about this. I just came across this today.
So I'm just looking this up right now. It's on BBC.com.
Yeah, this subject came up like in October.
Right. So the social credit system is meant to rate the trustworthiness of the citizen.
Yeah,
So if you buy like, I don't know, like an American flag thing, probably is not going to get you a high score in China.
it's like if you buy a lot of anime from Japan, that also lowers your score.
Right. You want to buy Chinese products. So, helps build that nationalism and that, that kind of like being proud to be Chinese or be a Chinese in China. Or being, or just purchasing your own country's products, which is similar to kind of like Japan didn't do anything like this, but I believe a lot of Japanese, the culture is very kind of uptight inside Japan, and where you buy Japanese products as opposed to buying imported products in Japan.
It's like that in every nation. I mean, America
Well, except
was
for
like,
Canada.
well, yeah, I guess, but America was like this in the 70s and 80s, and
Yeah, and the Cold War and stuff like that. Everybody was buying, from their own governments. But then now we're importing it because it's more, convenient, and we have a much better transportation system. And
consumerism.
yeah, there you go. And then all goes down to like what do you call it? That word, the global village, because everybody is connected now.
Yeah,
You just winced at me saying that.
it's not those. It's those marketing words.
I hate you too.
So, anyways, it's not about the subject I want to talk about. It's the concept of it. So the idea that anyone around you can see this score and disassociate from you because of it. Because if you are friends with someone with a lower score, it brings your score down.
At the same time, it says here on this news that you're supposed to flaunt your score. They're encouraging people to flaunt your score so that, it's like, well, hey, I got a 700, and, Jackson would want a 700 or more. that type of thing, or plus or minus. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. If you play Final Fantasy 11, where you can party up with somebody that's way higher level than you, but it doesn't get the higher level guy anywhere to party up with you.
No, they actually get capped down.
Yeah, they get capped down. They get less experience. They get less everything, right? Whereas the lower guy is kind of like, oh, I'm getting a little boost because I'm with this higher level guy. It's I guess it's kind of related to gaming.
Oh, that's actually the crux of it. Well, back to the subject on that is Tencent is the people behind the project. The people who own Riot Games, part of Epic Games,
WeChat.
Yeah, and all that. They help build the system.
Yeah.
So already the government is getting help from games.
Of course, I think that Alibaba being a main Alibaba and China's Taobao is kind of like one of their main purchasing ways, besides from vegetables. So besides from going to the marketplace and buying fruits and vegetables, these those two things are going to be highly tracked down. It's kind of like similar to what we do with PayPal. PayPal wasn't really regulated before, and then afterwards, people were making so much money off PayPal and those whatnot. Then CRA and the government and the IRS started getting involved, where if you don't report what you make, they know you didn't report that.
Yes.
Right, which good and bad. There's always good and bad from these things.
Yes, because government wants to know everything and control everything.
Well, it has happened in every almost system out there.
It's for your own protection.
Yes, Big Brother's always wanting to help you out.
And the part of when I first read this article, like part of my the first thought in my mind is that this is probably a response to all the bad press that Chinese citizens been getting because of travelers doing indecent things.
Right, like that guy who marked his own name, in Egypt on that
vandalism.
Yeah,
on landmarks,
peeing and defecating in public places. Not saying that that's not natural over there, but I'm saying that, in our social culture, it's not highly accepted. So therefore, we shun that, right?
Yeah. So
and they don't want to seem lower class in front of any other.
Yeah, and all the incidents on flights where people like, I want some air, and opens the airplane door.
What's wrong with that? I want some air.
Yeah. Anyways, like all this behavior that the social media has been bringing up, pretty much. So this is sort of like a response to that, where it's using the citizens to police themselves. Which
is good. It kind of falls into crime prevention strategy. It's not really part of what we're talking about, but something that I studied and I'm kind of certified to talk about crime prevention through environmental design. And this would be more of like the psychological and the social economical kind of like control on that, right? Where as long as everybody is seeing everybody else's score and everybody's aware of everybody else's score, then people are less likely to do bad things. And in bad things, I mean bad things against the government in this case, but not like necessarily bad things if the government approves of it.
Well, everything under the government's approval.
Well, yeah. So, like as long as, but at the same time, because the government is also being judged by the people.
Yes.
So if something gets reported, right, and it ends up on social media, they have their own social media, and they can't really cover it up as well as they used to.
Yes.
And just like all the people that got hit by cars or like hitting kids and like there's all these things that we think that they're doing nothing about, they're actually doing something about it, right? Because there's been such a high response in social media, people recording, and just they can't cover it up in time. Right? And then it does provide for a safer environment if you're in populated areas. Of course, I personally wouldn't still travel to any not populated like countryside of Asia that potentially could be more dangerous in terms of depending on who you are and gender, size, and whatnot, right?
Going way off topic here on this subject, but
it's there. I think the whole government, like whether it's good or bad, or the whole how safety or not safe, or how the government decides to handle this thing, it goes into everybody being socially pressured.
Okay, yeah, this is like peer pressuring at the utmost level, more or less.
Yeah. So, I like, my take on this is that it could be positive, depending on how much they control this point system. Although I think they should also give more points for people who actually like record like
Surveillance.
yeah, like not like surveillance, sure, like bad things that happen, right? Maybe like there's a crime that happened, they couldn't solve it, but this guy provides a video of it, so therefore you should get more social points,
Suppose, yes.
right? And someone should be taking credit for that, just like credit for every little thing that you do.
Yeah, this is more or less gamifying life, which is a scary thought in itself.
And
But we've seen this happen already. Like Facebook already does it. Like any other, Twitter does it.
yeah, except and over here in North America, we have a bit more options in terms of kind of like how we limit our privacy, and there's still some privacy, laws that protect us in a way,
Yeah.
and you can still hide your Facebook profiles and not post certain things or post it to only certain groups,
Yeah.
right? So that's what we get. That's our privilege over here, compared to over there. Like the second you post something, executive so and so already knows that you did this.
Yeah. I mean, it already happens in employment as well, where like your boss or someone else higher up wants to look at your history or your references. Is exactly what it is.
Or
It's
see if you're
references.
single.
Yeah. Like, there's a number of times where when I looked for jobs, where like the employer asked, "Do you have a LinkedIn account?"
Yeah, it's a huge thing. Like apparently it's a huge. Like I didn't even start dealing with this until I started taking courses in the U.S.
Yeah.
And these people were like giving me their business cards, and I was like, "Hey man, it's like, do you have Facebook?" I'm like, "I got Facebook." "Oh, do you have LinkedIn?" I'm like, "No." It's like I have an account.
Yeah.
Because I signed up for it.
Yeah.
But because LinkedIn was charging a fee, I was kind of reluctant to put stuff on there and whatnot, right? So if you compare LinkedIn to kind of like Facebook, obviously it's a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, it's more for the professionally minded.
Yeah, and which is fine, but I had to kind of like spruce up my LinkedIn account just a bit, right?
Yeah, like I mainly take up these accounts mainly because I don't want other people with the same name to have it. That's just my paranoia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like because the system is already being out as an opt-in program, the people who are in there first are already like
Gaining points.
Getting points, already positive about their nationalism, already positive about the system, and trying to encourage everyone else to use it.
It's like beta testing and keeping your level.
Yeah.
That never happened to me in Final Fantasy. But yeah, there's a lot of good things. So, what's your final ideas on this whole system?
It's a scary thought. Like, it becomes mandatory to have this social pressure to maintain your score. Like, it's hard enough to keep up like Facebook and other media accounts already. Like, to have it mandatory to have it on you.
Yeah, it's mandatory, which being mandatory and whatnot.
It's like one step away from actually, this is surveillance.
It is. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but in the long run, I think it offers some security. And I'm definitely not a communist or a fascist or however you want to think of that type of thing. I think for my background, I prefer a more secure side. So if bad things are happening, something needs to be done, and sometimes security and convenience, a lot of times it doesn't match up.
Yeah.
Right. So, you're going to have to figure out for yourself on what's going on. It could be a matter of time before other communist countries, are going to be picking up on this.
Yeah, it's like I can understand the need to have everything recorded and documented, because like who knows when when you need to backtrack and refer to something in order to solve a mystery or a trend or a happening in the world.
Right. I wonder if they're going to do one for like an app for us in Canada and US, so that when you travel to China, you can gain some social points.
I would rather not do that, but yeah.
But you could have free hotel stays. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Almost everything has a point system now. Like Expedia and all that stuff have a point system. It's like,
and it's a. Yeah, I didn't really like the Expedia point system. I don't know. I know it's a good thing. You know, you get your credit card points and you get Expedia points. Seems like it's going to be a while before you travel though, always, unless you travel a lot on Expedia already.
If you're a business travel, yes, it makes sense. But like for the occasional vacationer, it's not so much.
Right. So you know, I guess we're taking more of Jackson's taking this more of like a negative thing, and I'm taking this more of closer to mid, like I guess a mid, slightly better than mid
And this
standpoint.
is why we debate on a lot of things.
It's fair. It's all fair game, right?
Yeah, this is how we learn.
Yep. I'm gonna kill you with a spoon now. No.
Yes, you and your ice cream spoon.
What
What do you got?
What else? Oh, I forgot what I was going to talk about. So a few Christmas things, you know, going on. These obviously Christmas stuff. Christmas is a hot topic right now.
Just the season.
Yeah, of course. And you know, it's for a lot of things as well. You know, in Toronto, they just recently had that stabbing in Shoppers Drug Mart.
Okay.
It was random. It was this lady that had that saying that, or their lawyer saying that she had a mental health issue. She couldn't get a job or finding it hard to find employment, and then just randomly stabbed this lady at Shoppers Drug Mart while she was shopping. Did not know her, not connected.
Just had a knife, went up and did it.
Yep, just did it, and then she's dead. Actually, she died this morning, early this morning. So that was like last Friday or Saturday or something like that. You can look that up, and basically, you know, she's dead.
Okay.
And, you know, things like this, you know, like from a martial arts, from a security standpoint, definitely, you know, be aware of things. I mean, just because you're in a mall, just because you're in a busy environment, it doesn't mean you're safe. It doesn't make it safe.
No.
I'm not saying you need to be paranoid. I'm just saying that, you know,
People with agoraphobia has a reason.
right.
That's what it is, right? Agoraphobia, the fear of being outside.
Well, you're not gonna get stabbed every time you get outside, right? But you know, in a busy environment, you know, that's how the San Bernardino incidents and whatnot. Those are all kind of like, you know, if the more you're aware, the faster you're aware of a situation, the faster you can react to it, right? I'm not saying that, you know, learning anything else or having a gun on you is going to help, or because, you know, if you don't practice what you have or what you learn,
If you're not confident in your skill.
yeah, sure, then it can be used against you, right? And, you know, that's the current standpoint that a lot of martial arts say, right? You know, you train, you take like, you know, your weekend course, you take your 1 day a week, and then you stop taking it for 6 months, thinking you're like, because you already done a year or whatnot, and you think you're confident in that, but you know, things just get sloppy, and you know, end up not being able to perform the way that you imagined yourself, you know, in one of those scenarios. Yeah, so you know, everybody should be, you know, be careful. There was another lady that, you know, we're in Vancouver here, and there's another lady that was recently, I think, attacked from behind in Kitsilano, and you know, you can look that up on VPD, but she was
Vancouver Police Department.
yeah, Vancouver Police Department. They had this. She was walking home from a bar, right? Probably like around like 1 or 2 a.m. But she was by herself, and you know, I'm not saying that if you're by yourself, you're asking for it. I'm saying that it's safer with an extra person.
Travel in pairs.
Yeah, and things like that, you know, in a sense, avoidable. But you know, also staying aware and not being completely, you know, smashed and hammered while walking home.
Well,
I'm not saying that she was. I have no idea on what her level was at that point. And so, you know,
Yeah, like everybody around the world now wants to become more isolated, so people will wear like headphones or be engrossed in whatever they're doing on their phone while walking, not being totally aware of traffic.
yeah, traffic, right? I mean, or traffic lights.
Or lampposts, yes, as suggested by Ken Guy. Yes, walking straight into a lamppost. I've done that once. I was trying to look up what direction, and it's like walked into a lamppost.
Yeah, I haven't done that. So you try that, you know. I mean, you know, even though I carry phones and whatnot, and you know, things like that happen. What else is going on here?
Any thoughts on drive-by punching?
You mean the people who are getting randomly knocked out?
Yeah, like I've read this somewhere posted. Like there's a fad going on where people are just randomly walking by and punching people, a la Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
No, in the old GTA 1 top-down games, you had the random punch button. You have a random fart button and a random punch button. So you just walk up, punch, and farting people.
Yeah, you know, like the random punch thing, it's, you know, happened in the States for a long time as well, but it happened in groups as opposed to happening in, you know, individually. So, you know, in these cases, you're going into a crowded area. These people are, you know, clearly drunk or inebriated or whatever you want to call them, right?
Antagonistic.
Yeah, and they think that you know, just because you punch someone in the face, nothing goes wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but it's different, right? From a fighter point of view, if I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and you know we both have our guards up, we're both ready for it, and I punch you in the face, right? Probably won't knock you out.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is you're sucker punching somebody, and there's no way for the body to be ready for that because it's a sucker punch, right? So when you're walking down the street and you know you're walking by this group or this guy and he just knocks you, right? Then you're gonna be out cold.
Mm-hmm.
And but out cold, I mean, you're falling uncontrollably. You're not gonna wake up halfway, and your head smashes the ground at full force.
Yeah.
You can't even break fall or put your arm out.
Yeah, like there was reported incidents where this happened to a person and they have been on permanent disability.
Yeah, the guy's getting I think closer to manslaughter, like
Yeah.
something that's aggravated assault, which is, you know, anywhere between. I'm not gonna quote anything here because I don't have my security book here, but anywhere between 2 to 10 years.
That seems a little low for that, but
Well, on top of that, that's only from the law side, right?
Oh, from the law's point of view.
Right. He's also liable civilly.
oh yes, the civil side of the court.
Right. So civilly, he's going to get sued for this, you know, for basically whatever the life of this person living is, right? If he never gains his skills back, he never learns to do his work properly again, you know, that's going to suck for the guy. Even if you're like, well, I just punched him in the face, you know, because, you know, I was drunk and, you know, maybe he looked at me wrong or, you know, some stupid reason, right? I worked in security for a while now, and there's enough stupid reasons to go around. You know, people stepped on my shoe, so I punched them. They pushed my girlfriend, so I punched them. Yeah, all these minor things, right? And, you know, now you know that one of these punches is going to cost you 2 to 10 years, plus civilly, right? So you're going to 2 to 10 years, you're not going to have a paycheck, and when you come out of it, you're going to be in debt.
Yes.
Right? $1,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? More than that, right? Because the person needs, you know, care aid, person to take a bath, you know, if there's, you know, food, you know, and then his monthly expenses, you know, you're going to be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars to even cover this guy's expense.
Yes.
And, you know, this just shows that, you know, and a single act like that can really, you know, hurt, you know, that person, the person punching, the person that's getting punched, and the families of both sides.
Yeah. One random act just changes everything.
Yeah. So, you know, at the same time,
Just the season.
well, yeah, because, you know, to knock somebody. No, you don't knock anybody, right? It's, you know, be aware, and, you know, like you said in the beginning, you know, if you're aware of your surroundings and you avoid big crowds and you kind of scan the area before walking in and walking out, that type of thing, you know, it's just gonna make things easier for you, because the second you make eye contact with somebody, they know that you're aware.
Yes.
It's just like crossing the street and making sure you're at the crosswalk and the car's incoming, but you're allowed to walk. So you eye contact with the driver, right?
Making sure that they know that you're there.
Exactly, right? And then, you know, you're walking by this guy. You know, I'm not saying stare him down or, you know, look at him weird, and, you know, or have that suspicious, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna knock you out if you come near me, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's just a mutual acknowledgement that we agree that we're gonna do something right now.
Well, we're agreeing that I'm gonna walk by and I know who you are. I've seen you, right? This is the one step closer to that. The body cams, like what VPD or like the police stations want to, or the police forces want to use these days.
Oh yeah, those personal GoPros or whatever it is. where so that whenever a police officer has to file a report, they have video evidence of whatever they did.
Yeah, and it's almost like I want to wear those things just because it's like the same as having a car cam.
Yeah.
You have it when you're driving, you have it when you're walking, right? So when somebody, I'm not saying that you're gonna pick out everything. Oh, this guy, said, F you and dropped the F bomb and a few times, and you're like, well, I'm gonna sue him for verbal assault. Right? That's just ridiculous, right? But if someone's has that intention and has that ferocity in their face, right, and you have it recorded, then it'll protect you because I'm not saying that person will get in deep trouble for that, but at least there's a record of it.
Yeah. So this is very much like what happened when Google introduced Google Glasses for the first time to the world, where
Except for I only had an hour worth of battery.
yeah, but still, it is that exact concept where at any point you can choose to turn on the camera and start recording whatever you're looking at.
I actually like Google Glasses except for the battery part.
Yeah, and there have been many food establishments, restaurants, bars, whatever. They ask you to take that off because A, it's a private business. They don't want people recording inside there, and B, you're gonna go to the washroom a lot.
Yeah, that type of thing. Right? Nobody wants to see a video of that or you recording somebody doing that. It's
It's back to surveillance.
But there's a lot of obviously, right, convenience, inconvenience, and being politically correct these days. Right, you try not to step on anybody's toes at the same time as trying to get your point across.
I've already lost the point of this conversation because I've.
Well, and that's part. No, it goes back to the recording. It goes back to the surveillance. It goes back to talking to each person, and it goes back to did this person really do anything to aggravate it?
Yeah.
Right. If that person didn't do anything to aggravate it, then that's and the whole thing back to is awareness and being safe for the holidays, of course, right? Don't be so complacent on your own security because you're so busy gift shopping, wrapping gifts, going out for dinners and all these things because you got so many groups and parties to go to, right? That you're not gonna know everybody around you, so. Of course, if you're drinking, get a driver or whatever, right? But yeah, I think that's enough in terms of my side of things.
If anyone knows how to follow this conversation, please leave a comment. Because
everybody knows how to follow this conversation. It's a conversation.
It's a totally random pieces of topic that we just picked, and the alarm went off.
Sounds good. All right, and that's it for today. Yeah. Yes. No.
I suppose. What's the name of the show?
Kibitzer.
One more time.
Kibitzer.
I can't hear it on the mic.
Kibitzer.
There you go.
You can't hear it on the mic. Yeah, you can. Yeah. No, we're all good. That's it for today. We'll have more topics for next week on whatever that day is. There. I undated it.